Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Friday, August 12th, 2016.
Commissioner Repenning, my apologies, Commissioner James, and Jacinto are present. President James, we have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Nick Lopez, Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Ali Posti, Bureau of Sanitation.
Good morning, Mahmoud Kerimzadeh, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning, Angelica Samayoa with the Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Ruben Palmeco, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we received speaker cards under general public comment. We do not have any commentary under the Neighborhood Council comments, and we also received speaker cards on items 1, 2, 3, and 4 for today.
Okay, thank you. We'll close the Neighborhood Council category of commentary. Is there a second to my motion that we approve the meeting minutes from the meeting of Monday, July 25th, 2016 by Commissioner Repenning? Any objection? Without objection, we'll approve those meeting minutes. We have a presentation this morning, certificates of completion for the street sweeper school graduates, the Bureau of Street Services Street Maintenance Technology Program. Mr. Nazario. Sauceda. How are you, sir?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President, Board of Public Works Commissioners, Bureau Execs, Mr. City Attorney, and Mr. Executive Officer. It is a great morning for all of us, but first and foremost, I want to thank the Board of Public Works for allowing us to have this great presentation this morning, using your valuable time here at the Board of Public Works to present certificates of completion to a group of dedicated employees who sacrifice their family times on Saturdays for 16 consecutive Saturdays to become better servants, better public works people, and at the end of the day, to provide quality street services in a timely and efficient manner. I also want to thank the Board of Public Works for your constant and incessant support to our street maintenance technology program. As you will know, our partnership with LA Trade Tech has survived over 25 years. 25 years of classes every semester preparing the past, present, and future generation of bureau managers and employees. We have a lot of people who have taken those classes, including myself. So I can tell you that these classes indoctrinate students in what being a public works person means. You must embody the beliefs of the Public Works, the Department of Public Works. Interestingly enough, despite the fact that the classes that we have are perhaps over 25 years old, we didn't have this class before. We didn't have the motor sweeper operator class. The class was integrated as a result of the changes in technology, especially changes in the use of fuel. In the olden days, of course, sweepers were operated using diesel, and diesel is no longer the fuel of choice. Today we use CNG, compressed natural gas. Why? Because we want to be green and we want to be clean. And by the way, the Bureau of Street Services of the Department of Public Works holds the greenest and cleanest motor sweeper fleet in the nation. We have approximately 80 motor sweepers that are CNG. There is no other municipality in the nation that has more clean sweepers like the Bureau of Street Services. Having said that, let me give you a little bit of background on the motor sweeper operator class. It is a very difficult class. 16 classes, 16 Saturdays, 8 hours a day, physical work, a lot of classroom activity to understand the in and outs of maintenance and operation, but most importantly, of the safe operation of motor sweepers. Motor sweepers are bulky, they're huge, right? They have sometimes low visibility, so motor sweeper operators must be almost like Formula One drivers, honestly. Why? Because they have to keep an eye on the gutter where they're sweeping, keep an eye on bicyclists, pedestrians, mothers, kids, cars that hate motor sweepers, right? And all that while you perform your job. And you always have to be focused on what you're doing. So it requires a special personality to become a street services motor sweeper operator. Throughout the years, and it's been 10 years since we added the motor sweeper operator class to the street maintenance technology program, we have seen 222 graduates. We have issued 222 motor sweeper operator certificates. This group in particular is comprised of 17 students. And we're going to hear from one or two of them later. And once again, these individuals are now ready to operate a sweeper. We all know that the mayor has made clean streets one of his top priorities. Well, street sweeping is one of the key components of maintaining LA clean. So before we issue the certificates, I would like to recognize the people that gets involved in this monumental effort. First and foremost, I want to introduce the main instructor who has been an instructor of the street maintenance technology program for decades. As a matter of fact, when I took these classes in the late 80s, he was one of my instructors, right? So let me introduce, of course, former Assistant Director of the Bureau of Street Services, now retired, right? And when he has the time between traveling the world, he takes the time to continue teaching the future generations, right? So, Abe Navarro.
I'm sitting there looking at Abe going, Abe, retirement has served you well, sir. I'm sitting there the whole time looking at you going, wow, you've only been gone, what, a year and a half? Okay, a couple of years. Wow. Good to see you again, sir.
Yeah. And of course,
we miss you.
He cannot do everything by himself, so he has a group of instructors or assistant instructors, and I want to name all of them. And once I finish naming all of them, we can give him a round of applause. Benny Carranza. Benny, want to get on your feet? James Windsor, Leticia Garnica, Frank Gamboa, Steve Jacobellis, Hans Duran, Michael Cox, and Danny Rivera. Not all of them could make it, but they're here. Of course, I also want to recognize the person that gets the headaches. You know, admissions, registrations, everything, coordinating the program. She's been our program coordinator for decades as well, and without her, we couldn't be here this morning. Madeline Smith. Where are you, Madeline? And lastly, I want to recognize the families, because Saturdays and Sundays are family time. And sometimes families have to sacrifice, not seeing their dad or their mom, because they have to take classes. But they understand that at the end of the day, that's the purpose of being a public works employee, to serve and being unselfish. So I want to recognize the family. Some of the family members are here, so I would like to give them a round of applause. So let's start with the presentation of the certificates, and I'm going to bring each one of them one at a time.
Nazario, which month does the 16 weeks, when does it start? And is it more than once a year?
Well, last semester started in March, and it ended sometime in June.
Okay.
So it's 16 weeks of work. And of course, we have sometimes holidays in between, so it may end up being more than 16 weeks.
And it's annual, we don't do twice a year, right?
Well, actually, we stopped having this class as a result of the hiring freeze.
Right.
We didn't have the class because we knew that we couldn't hire. But today we have a tremendous need for motor sweeper operators. So in September we have another class coming, another group of motor sweeper operators. These individuals that will get the certificates today they're going to get a symbolic key because they will be operating a sweeper in the next couple of weeks. Okay. So. First certificate goes to Randy Johnson. Randy? Let's have a picture, right? Right here. Thank you, Randy. Don't go too far. Pete Gomez. Richard Doss. All right. We won't charge you for that. Todd Larson. And of course, as part of the group, we have some females, right? As part of our support to gender equity, the Mayor's Directive for Gender Equity and Workforce Development, we're very proud to say that we have females in non-traditional jobs here in the Bureau of Street Services. So the first one is Carolyn Davis. Congratulations. Melvin Montes. Tom Eng. Congratulations. Thank you. Matthew Snyder. Thank you. William Stiglau. Carlos Huerta. Thank you very much. Eduardo Garcia. John Madrid. Congratulations, John. Javel Wright. Thank you. Ray Moreno. Michael Long. Well done. Thank you. And last but not least, Tina Blankenship. Congratulations, Tina. So once again, I want to thank the board for giving us the opportunity to make this presentation. And if you have any questions or if you want to say something, I do have one of the graduates who would like to say something, but
I think we'd like to hear from one of the whichever the graduates would like to speak,
Gonna say something
and then
on
we'll
behalf.
add to that. Good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning. My name is Carlos Huerta. I've been with the Street Services for 6 months. I just passed my probation. When I first got into Street Services, I spoke with my superintendent, Eric Gonzalez, asking him, how can I progress faster? And I was speaking to Frank Gambeau, and they told me, we'll enter into the sweeper school. So I didn't really know what it was about. But I entered. I wanted to become a sweeper. I just didn't know how to do it. So in doing so, they were very welcoming in the class. Abe Navarro, everybody was very organized. And they stressed on safety for the first 4 weeks, which made you feel comfortable because you knew that you weren't going to jump to a sweeper or a machine and they were going to let you just basically go with whatever you feel. So we learned about safety. We were very interactive with others. Upon doing so, you learn the machine inside and out. And now I've been sweeping for the past month as a sub-sweeper. And I feel comfortable, with everything that they taught us, whether it was book work or outside, with the machines. Now I can tell you basically not almost anything about the machine that, and I feel comfortable with it. So the class was very, very beneficial. I already see within 6 months I'm in a different position from my title, what it was. So it just makes me feel more comfortable of my future within the Bureau of Street Services. So
Excellent.
Thank you for my instructors. Thank you for everybody who was there to help. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So, as the Bureau Liaison to Street Services, I'll start this morning. First of all, to all the graduates, welcome. Thank you for entering the program. Welcome to the next phase of your career. We've really been in need of you. You are really a bright light for us. I speak to community groups all the time, and all across the city. And one of the most consistent questions I get, and one of the most important services that the community asks me about and talks to me about is street sweeping. All right, so the service you provide is popular. It's not just popular with the community. Because it's popular with the community, it's also popular with the press. Nazario was telling me this morning about a story that was on, I think it was NBC?
No, Channel 5. Yeah.
Channel 5. Oh, okay, on
KTLA.
Channel 5. That was NBC, where I grew up as a little kid. I'm doing an interview with Channel 7 early next week about the technology program related to our motor sweepers and the work that you all do. As you mentioned already, it's safety first. Nazario talked a bit about the skill set that it takes being essentially a NASCAR driver. I don't want him to have promised you too much. We don't really have the budget to pay you like NASCAR guys make. But other than that, when it comes to safety and the difficulty of the job, you're worth it. I certainly am pleased to see all of you progress and promote and continue to do so in the Bureau of Street Services. Selfishly, I'm also thrilled that we're able to do so. One of the things when I meet regularly with Nazario and the management team at the Bureau of Street Services, I don't know how many times we've had one-on-one discussions and discussions with the mayor's office and the mayor's executive team about our need for more motor sweeper operators and when can we hire more motor sweeper operators. And, he's always talked about the importance of this program. And Abe, it's great to see you back, sir. I'm still amazed at how relaxed you look and in your time away from the city for the last couple of years. But more importantly, it's wonderful to see that you're still involved at such an important level with the Bureau of Street Services. That's beneficial to the Bureau and to the Department of Public Works, to our board, and to the city. So great to see you, sir. All the other instructors that took the time to come out this morning, I really appreciate it. One of the reasons I asked Nazario about I was trying to gauge the amount of sacrifice, and there's really no way to gauge the amount of sacrifice that a family makes when one of the parents, or a family member, brother, sister, whatever, is away during weekend time. So I wanted to get a sense of what the season was for that, and all around the year is important. Selfishly, I was pleased to see that for those football fans, I know we've got one in an Oakland Raiders shirt out there, the day before the Rams take the field at the Coliseum, although I won't comment any more on that, but that it did not take place during football season.
Right.
Now, I would like to see a second class that we're able to start so we can do this twice a year, and it's going to be unavoidable.
Right.
But
It's coming.
inevitably, there are going to be some people that will care less about that, obviously. So, Nazario, thank you for your work in all seriousness. Thank you for your work. To the graduates, congratulations. Thank you for taking the time to come in this morning and be recognized. And we look forward to a long, healthy, and safe career with you all as we grow our very popular, under the watchful eye of the media, because it is so popular, motor sweeper operator program. Commissioner Repenning?
Sure. I also just really want to thank the graduates for the time that you've invested in this program. You know, President James spoke about how important the services that you provide are to our city. You guys are out there making sure that our streets are clean and safe so that, you know, students can walk to school, so that people can walk home from the grocery, catch their bus, and it's just really important. You know, you're also the face of our city in the neighborhoods, so you know, you guys are out there every day, and so I really want to thank you as well for representing us. And you know, people are very skeptical about government, and so when they see us out there working and making improvements on their streets, it actually matters. To the women who are doing this work, I want to say thank you and keep at it. You guys are blazing trails for other women who might decide to go into non-traditional areas of work. It's very important for our city. You know, the mayor is very focused on trying to reach a more diverse type of workforce. And so, so for the women who are working in areas that have typically been, you know, dominated by men, you guys are role models. So thank you, and please keep at it. Nazario, I just want to say that you continue to surprise and impress me with the really creative things you're doing with all things personnel, from how you're hiring to how you're retraining. It's all, I think, very important and creative, and I appreciate your commitment to those issues. You know, we all have to evolve. We all have to continue to stay on the cutting edge, and so your ability to adapt, to bring in new technologies that help us make our services more cost-effective, so that we can do more and do it for less, is really important. So your ability to adapt and find ways to train people is very much valued by me, and I know by the mayor as well.
Thank you.
So thank you all.
Thank you, Commissioner Repenning. Commissioner Cinto.
Thank you, President James. Nazario, congratulations. Thank you for your leadership. I visited your class like this, and you know, when a bureau head spends as much time to develop the workforce, to develop all ranks and all aspects of the bureau, that's impressive. So I appreciate you greatly for this. For the instructors, for coming back. I haven't worked with you, but thank you for coming out and being active and all the relationship that it takes with LA Trade Tech and the administrative things. And to the graduates, you know, to spend 128 hours, 16 weekends, 16 Saturdays of primetime family. That shows your commitment to a very core competency, a very core aspect of our city. Our mayor's back to basics. And so speaking with some of you and meeting with some of you, I really want to give you that energy to continue to know that you have opportunities with our city. And as Nazario, as you're a participant observer, as you take in the classes as well, I think that's a wonderful testimony as to the pipeline, the roadway, if you will, that we have in street services to be able to progress and have careers. And to the families that are here, thank you so much for supporting your men and women away from home for that long, so that they can help take care of families. In the end, that's what our jobs are. They're not just jobs, they're ways to take care of our families and to contribute to our communities. So I salute you all and look forward to seeing you there on the streets. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Cinto. We'll take just a quick recess from the agenda so we can get a group photo with the graduates, and then we'll come right back on our agenda.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Let's see, it'll take a moment. Yep. Ms. Arroyo, you're here on number 1, right? Okay.
Ron will meet you at 1 with the sweeper.
What's that? Yeah. Yeah, that's this afternoon. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Welcome back on our agenda, everyone. Let's go ahead and go to agenda item number 1. Bureau of Street Services recommending the board approve the report to authorize the Director of Street Services or his designee to enter into a contract with the Los Angeles Trade Technical College for the purposes of administering the Degreed Street Maintenance Technology Program during the 2016-17 academic year, fall, winter, spring, summer semesters, September 2016 through June 2017, which is funded at $64,800 through General Fund 100, Department number 7401. We have a speaker card on number 1. Mr. Herman on number 1. Mr. Herman on number 1. It says, well, it's listed as, where's my Monica, on number 1. And then there's, so I'm assuming Mr. Herman or Mr. Spindler. I'm going to call them both because you're both in here. Mr. Spindler on number 1. I don't have either one of you. Ms. Smith.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you again.
Oh, you're very welcome, and you can see what our program does. First of all, good morning, commissioners, department heads, city attorney, and executive officer. As you know, I'm Madeline Smith, and it has almost been 2 decades that I've been administering this program, and it's been really a joy to see people advance and to see really something actually happening with the education they're getting, and it's connected to what they do. And to answer your question, we are having a class, another sweeper class. It's bigger than this one, about 25 students. A lot of new students, some old students who decided to switch course. So it should be a good class. It begins in September, but we are also increasing the amount of courses we offer this school year. It'll be 10 instead of 8. We have added an advanced class, which is Leadership in Public Works. It's under the tutelage of Abraham Navarro, and is basically teaching middle management how to manage and reach the level of director, and giving them those leadership tools. We also have a new crop of employees who are really thirsty for this education, so the classes are pretty full. We'll be offering 5 courses this fall semester, which we haven't done in a while. So it's been kind of hectic. I think that's it. And we are going into contract with the 2016-2017 school year.
Great. Thank you, ma'am. Any questions at all for Ms. Smith? I don't have any questions. We obviously heard a lot about the program this morning. Thank you for your decades of work, as you said, on this, and it's great to be seeing the products of the success. So
thank you.
We appreciate it. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 1. Is there a second? By Commissioner Ascento. Any objection? Without objection, we will adopt agenda item number 1. Any issue sending number 1 forthwith? We'll send number 1 forthwith. Thank you, ma'am. Agenda item number 2, lot cleaning assessment roll hearing, fiscal year 2015-16. Consider property owner appeals against the proposed lot cleaning assessment roll for weed and brush abatement charges for work performed by the lot cleaning division in the 2015-16 fiscal period to be included on the ensuing county tax roll, and forward the assessment roll to the City Council for consideration and confirmation. We have a speaker card on number 2. It says, "Where's my Monica?" on the card. Mr. Spindler, would that be you? Mr. Spindler identifies himself as that,
That's right.
that card. Go ahead, sir.
Where's my Monica? I used to have a Commissioner Monica, like the movie Dory. She used to go, "Where's my mommy?" Well, where's my Monica? Where'd she go? They only got 3 commissioners left. It's getting a bare minimum quorum. Things are happening bad. Bad for little kids, bad for fish, bad for everybody. Only 3 left. So there's no more Monica, and just want to know, where's my Monica, and why isn't she here on item number 2, lot cleaning assessment roll? Nobody does this work. The weeds and the brush don't ever get cleaned. And Monica knew that, so that's why I want to see if Monica can be here to tell us that these nice people shouldn't get taxed for something that wasn't done. You know, like street services on Van Owen Street between Sherman Way and Van Owen, east of Tampa. And all those cars that are getting ticketed for street sweeping days when the street sweeper never fucking shows up for weeks. Yet Monica knew all those tickets were getting written on the street sweep days. So I was trying to see, like in Dory, where's my Monica? Because the Monica need to get here and tell us why they're charging the city for cleaning up shit that nobody's cleaning up at all and getting paid to clean up shit that's not being cleaned at all. I just want to know why. And Mr. Davis, yeah, he's a big guy. He used to sit there, but he disappeared too. So we're just down to 3. And finally, one of your commissioners yesterday made a special appearance at the LA City Commission on Planning to try to get $5 million. Or was it 500,000? I don't know. But anyway, have her talk to you, one of your commissioners, about yesterday's Thursday meeting and what a fucking nightmare it really was. So, Monica, where's my Monica? And you'll see on the card some ideas where she might be.
Thank you, Mr. Campos. Thank you, Mr. Spindler. Mr. Caleros?
Yes, good morning. My name is Charles Caleros with the Bureau of Street Service of the Lot Clean Division. Good morning, Mr. President, board members, city attorney, executive officer. Well, the item here is for consideration from property owners that may be appealing our charges for weed abatements that we did in fiscal year 2015 and 16. And we would like to have you consider this and move it forward to the council so they can consider the assessment roll and then send it off to the county tax assessor so we can collect our money for the works that we did.
Great, thank you, sir. Any questions at all from Mr. Caleros regarding the opportunity for appeal and passing this on to the council? I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 2. Is there a second? By Commissioner Repenning. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Any issues sending number 2 forthwith? We'll send number 2 forthwith. Charles, good to see you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, Mr. Campos. On agenda item number 3, requested contract award, Bureau of Street Lighting and Bureau of Contract Administration for Council Districts 2, 3, 6, and 12. Receipt up to our LEDA series to multiple high voltage conversion, fiscal year 2015-16, recommending that the board declare Fodrell Construction Corporation, the apparent first low bidder, to be non-responsive, as discussed in the report. Declare KDC, doing business as Dynalectric, the first low bidder, after the local business preference percentage is applied, to be the lowest responsible bidder, and award them a contract in this project for the amount of $1,298,671. Forward a copy of the report to the affected council district offices, and authorize the president or 2 board members to execute the contract for the project upon approval of all required documents by the city attorney. Mr. Spindler, you have a card on number 3.
So again, where's my Monica? Monica was looking at this and declaring Football Construction Corporation, known as Football. They got the lowest bid. They won. Congratulations to Football Construction Corporation. Yay! But there's bad news. Apparently, they won the fucking bid, but then there was a local business preference, one of those acronyms they slipped in, and then they got fucked out of the bid. So now it leaves KDC, Inc. DBA Dynalectric, the first low bidder. And Monica was looking at this. That's why I want to know where my Monica is, because Monica was looking at this and going, shit, this has happened a lot lately. How come all of these bidders don't understand how to write a bid? They understand how to write a bid, but the problem is that they want the Dynalectric to get it, so they put the LBP in the EIO in the double EO in the ghetto, and then they get fucked out of the bid. So the KDC gets everything. Football Construction Corporation, dealing with football, dealing with high voltage, they won the fucking bid. But they got fucked in the bid because now they're not going to get the bid. Now this other goddamn company gets a bid because of some LBP shit that apparently the email got dropped. You know, it's the same thing. So this happens dozens of times, and everybody goes, Monica, what the fuck's happening? But now she's not here to save the football construction. But pretty soon, enough of these will come up. It becomes a pattern and practice of illegal discrimination in violation of 42 U.S.C. 1983 and illegal bidding
2
and
minutes.
unfair competition.
Thank you,
So
Mr.
you're going to get
Spindler.
fucked later.
On agenda item number 2, on agenda item number 3, Mr. Nguyen. And just so the record is clear, Mr. Nguyen, on the request for the board to declare Fodrell Construction Corporation as non-responsive, that came as a result of the Office of Contract Compliance determining that Fodrell failed to utilize the Bavin service to perform their business inclusion program outreach requirements of the bid, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Good morning, President James and Commissioners. I'm representing the Bureau of Street Lighting for item number 3. And we basically received a total of 6 bids on this project. Fodrell is the first low bidder. However, like President James has stated, OCC has determined that Fodrell failed to use the LA Bavin service to perform the BIP outreach requirements. And they also failed to meet the contractor participation requirements of 50% for this project. So it's recommended that Fodrell be deemed non-responsive. The second low bidder is Dynalectric. OCC has determined that Dynalectric is the lowest responsible bidder. Therefore, it's recommended that your board award the contract for this project to Dynalectric.
Any questions on agenda item number 3? Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you, President James. Mr. Nguyen, did we receive any correspondence, any protests from Fodrell?
I believe OCC Conad would be better to address that issue.
Actually, I would need to go back and find out. I'm not aware if something was received, that we have something on file.
In a protest or appeal, I just was curious to see whether we received it.
Excuse me. It's my understanding that if we did receive any protests, it would be discussed in this report. However,
Let's say there's nothing in the board report. Mr. Jordan?
It's not discussed in this
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Commissioner, to answer your question, if Fodrell wanted to protest, that protest would come through our offices. I did not receive any in our record, and it's not reflected in the report. However, having said that, after the board report was published, had Fodrell had reached out to any of the bureaus, I'm not aware of any communication, but during the protest period, none was received.
They would have also been notified of this morning's hearing had they made a request.
That is correct.
Anything further? Okay. Is there any other questions? I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 3, seconded by Commissioner Repenning. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 3. Any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send number 3 forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Nguyen.
Thank you.
Mr. Campos, have we cleared of our voting items? Just the oral report left, correct?
You have cleared out the voting items,
Okay.
yes. Oral report and public comment is left.
Right. So let's go ahead and take general public comment. There's a public comment card that doesn't have a name at all. It says 42 U.S.C. 1983. Mr. Herman, I did see him turn in a card, so I'm going to assume it's his. Mr. Herman, on general public comment? Mr. Herman. Mr. Spindler, on general public comment under a Where's My Monica card? Mr. Spindler?
Yes, he was under 42 U.S.C. 1983, but he's busy celebrating Korean Day and Richie Valens Day.
La 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 bamba.
They're going to be over there playing it. So, now we got a little problem now. Apparently the assholes at the LAPD and the
Threat Management Unit
sent some more bullshit to the DA to still try to fuck with me again on this little thing with Herbie. Now, yeah, they just got a detective walked in there in the council chambers, and you're going to keep this. You're going to keep doing this till something explodes in this situation. You're going to keep trying to fuck with my freedom and take my license away and do a bunch of stupid shit. I'm really here to warn you. I'm really here to warn you, this is not good. This is fucked up. Something fucked up is happening. And you need to do two things. Stop with this bullshit with the DA and get me a settlement on my issues, because I filed my federal lawsuit, I got my appeal on my TRO. You go and you start arresting me again, start doing this shit, it's over for me, man. Then we're going to enter a new phase in fucking life as we know it. And you don't want that. And some of you know me, and you know what I'm going to fucking do. Now, 1991, 1992, I had a peace treaty with some people. They said, go to school, we'll forget this whole fucking thing. 21 years there's been peace. Before 1991, some real heavy shit happened with me and a bunch of other people, higher than these assholes in this government. And you're stepping on that agreement, because that agreement's a lifetime agreement. Now, they don't know about it, I can't say nothing about it, that they're over there fucking with stuff, your council president's fucking with stuff, and everybody's fucking with stuff. You got to make your call, man, because
2 minutes.
You're on the one fucking yard line. You got to make your call now.
Spender, your time on public comment is complete. We're clear with general public comment on agenda item number 4. We don't have any other general public comment cards, do we, Mr. Campos?
No, we do not.
Okay. On agenda item number 4, Office of Community Beautification quarterly update. Mr. Spindler, under a card similarly identified as the one you just spoke on agenda item number 4, Office of Community Beautification quarterly update. Go ahead, sir.
The card says, "Where's my Monica?" You got to read it right. So, beautification, you're missing the point. The tagging is everywhere. The distress is everywhere. Now, we got bloggers on LA City Watch, Jasmine Canick, saying that all of these homeless encampments are being done on purpose. LAPD has been told to leave them alone for one reason, because they're trying to pass tax ballot measures to get rid of homelessness, and they want to crowd everybody in to make the problem worse, to try to get more votes for the taxes. Now, this shit's happened before. And now you're using a lack of LAPD resources. Dennis Zine just drove down Burbank Boulevard in Encino and saw homeless encampments in the Sepulveda Basin. They're cooking with fire in the middle of a federal property like that, and the cops don't do anything to stop it. Down by my office, a homeless encampment burnt an entire 2-story building down, just 6.5 fucking feet, from the street on 8th Street and by Hoover. So, Parkview and 8th. So, I call, everybody calls, they just let these people camp out. And the reason they're doing it now, apparently, is because they want to crowd everybody in, so you see all this shit all over the place, to get people to falsely vote for things that they think they need when they don't need. So you pulled back all of your LAPD, all your social services, everybody. Nobody can get a homeless encampment moved. But after November, of course, they'll be able to come out again. So that's why, don't take this shit. You guys need to tell people this is a scam, vote no on all these taxes, and tell them to get these homeless encampments out before they burn some more people and kill people. I killed 5 people in that building down there about 2 months ago, and Gil Cedillo won't do shit. They're down by my building. They're pushing carts and shit over to my building. We got to have security to try to watch. Hopefully nobody comes over, breaks in, and burns one of our goddamn places down. It's real serious stuff. So you got to take care of that.
Thank you, Mr. Spender. Mr. Roch on agenda item number 4.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Paul Roch, Director of the Office of Community Beautification, here to provide our quarterly status update to the Board of Public Works. And with the recent close of the fiscal year, we'll kind of just focus on a quick year in review and how things went for the office in the past fiscal year. As far as the graffiti abatement program, last year OCB contractors received and responded to 133,000 requests for graffiti abatement service. This represented about 27% of the work that they performed. The other 73% was a result of the contractors proactively driving the corridors, knowing where the hot spots were in their district. In total, 27.4 million square feet of graffiti was removed last fiscal year from approximately 490,000 locations citywide. The budget allocation for the year that we just began included some additional funding that will allow us to put an additional 10 graffiti abatement crews out on the streets of Los Angeles. So we are looking forward to really being able to focus on addressing requests for service in even more of a timely manner, and hopefully putting more of a dent in the graffiti problem that has been escalating over the past couple of years, it seems like. This past year, starting in January, OCB contractors began performing public right-of-way cleanup and beautification work as part of the Clean Streets Los Angeles program, providing litter cleanup, weed abatement, and bulky item pickup to supplement the work being performed by the Bureau of Sanitation as part of the Clean Streets LA program. Over this 6-month period, OCB contractors cleaned 1,014 locations, filled and collected 48,811 trash bags full of litter, weeds, and debris from along the public right-of-way. They collected 996 bulky items as a result of these cleanups, and removed a total of over 490,000 pounds of trash and debris from, again, along the public right-of-way. In addition to the work performed by the contractors, OCB supports volunteer cleanup efforts, working with volunteers throughout the city of Los Angeles. Last year, OCB coordinated and supported 306 volunteer cleanup events citywide. These involved the efforts of 22,164 volunteers who collected over 57,000 trash bags as parts of their cleanup efforts, as well as painting out graffiti, planting and maintaining trees, cleaning up and planting community gardens, and various other types of beautification projects. Almost $3 million worth of time and effort was provided by these volunteers to improve the city of Los Angeles. The Office of Community Beautification works and supports many various types of organizations involved in these efforts, and just yesterday we were actually out with the Los Angeles Dodgers supporting their Day of Service effort at 3 locations throughout the city. Some other highlights, just to focus on very quickly. The Office of Community Beautification has begun outreaching to various neighborhood councils throughout the city of Los Angeles, setting up a chance for us to go out and give a presentation at their meetings. This is something we haven't done in the past couple of years, and as neighborhood councils have a lot of turnover, we're able to go and reintroduce our services. So far this past year, we've given presentations to the Wilshire Center, Koreatown, Van Nuys, North Hills West, and Encino neighborhood councils, giving presentation that's reached a total of 225 people in attendance at those meetings. We have upcoming meetings scheduled with the Arleta Neighborhood Council, Lincoln Heights, MacArthur Park, and Echo Park, and we'll continue to outreach to as many neighborhood councils over the coming year as we're able to. Over 125 persons are fully employed through the Office of Community Beautification contractors performing the graffiti removal and Clean Streets LA work. Over 95% of those persons are residents of the city of Los Angeles. This past year, we saw OCB transition to the new MyLA 311 service request system, and we're currently working with ITA and the Bureau of Sanitation to add our Clean Streets work into that system as well, in addition to the graffiti removal work, so that all the work being performed by OCB contractors will be in one database system. We think that will probably happen in the next 3 to 4 months. That'll be fully implemented. And then just in closing, a few thanks and acknowledgments. First, to each of the commissioners, I want to thank you guys for your support of the OCB efforts throughout the past year. Whether it's myself or staff, we've worked with each of you on various projects and programs, and we definitely appreciate the support. Same thing goes to each of the bureaus. Sanitation, street services, and engineering. Every year we have great working relationships with them. This year, for better or worse, we've had to do a lot of work with the Bureau of Contract Administration as well. And it's great to see Angelica, an alumnus of the Office of Community Beautification, sitting up here representing contract administration now. Thanks to Ted Jordan and the city attorney for their staff for turning around our contracts so quickly. That's greatly appreciated. Fernando, who's been a big help to the Office of Community Beautification in a lot of our projects that we have, and helping us get our staff ramped up and new staff on board. That's greatly appreciated. The board, staff in general, Office of Accounting, the front office people do a great job in supporting all our programs as well. And then I certainly need to acknowledge my staff, Office of Community Beautification, who are the ones going out to all these events on weekends and attending community meetings in the evenings and stuff like that. And I think really doing a great job of representing the City of Los Angeles and the Department of Public Works. And then finally, I do want to acknowledge Monica Rodriguez, who was our OCB point commissioner for the past 3 years, and for her strong advocate position for our programs and for the work with the nonprofit contractors, and that was certainly appreciated. And just in closing, looking forward to an exciting new fiscal year at this time. So thank you.
Well, Paul, you jumped the gun on me on thanking the folks that you work with, because I was sitting here wanting to tell you that we really appreciate the work that you've done in your leadership at OCB. I'm sitting here listening to you, and number one, I would like for you to send me either a screenshot of your notes or the stats that you give are really terrific. So if you could just send me an email with that information so I have it. There are a number of different places I would like to report it. I think it's an excellent metrics indicator of your work. I also, just on a professional note, but a personal note, I want to thank you. The 3+ years now that I've been here, in year 4, you are and I mean this completely in the highest complimentary fashion I can, you are a yes person. It's hard to find yes people sometimes in government. I will say that my experience coming from the outside is fortunately, I found more yes people in government than I expected to find the day that I started this job. That's a good thing. Actually, it's a great thing. But in a city this size, with the challenges we have, we could definitely use more of them. You are, I can't remember a time that you didn't say yes to any of our requests. I remember times where you've come to me because of budget challenges that we've had, and one of the things that I will strive to do is to be able to say yes to you as much as I possibly can, because I haven't always been able to because of budget constraints. But I do want you to know that that you have our full support. Your programs are important. I love hearing that the work that you all are doing with the neighborhood councils. I know from years of it myself, it's at times difficult. It's not during business hours. It's always on weekends or always at night. It is time consuming. It is complicated. There are challenges there because you have many different views on the work that anybody that approaches the neighborhood councils are doing. That's a purpose for the neighborhood councils. And the other thing I wanted to mention is you're willing to partner up with our bureaus. I mean, it's nice to hear you thank the bureaus, but we owe thanks to you. You step up with us when we need your assistance or the assistance of your contractors, whether we're dealing with the Clean Streets program in sanitation, whether we're dealing with our street tree issue, and something that we need to dive a little deeper into, the way that you do your statistics with the way you grade your streets for graffiti, the cross or reaching, I don't even say across the aisle, but just, the willingness to partnership and to share your best practices and to step up on items that haven't historically been an OCB item is greatly appreciated. And just from where I sit, when you step to the podium, you give a sense of confidence that I know I'm going to feel good about the information I'm about to get, or if I don't, I'm at least going to get a reasonable explanation as to why I don't. So thank you, sir, and I was going to do that today whether or not you went to jump the gun with yours.
If I can just make one comment, because I realize I overlooked street lighting, and I really shouldn't have, because street lighting actually supports our graffiti abatement program with funding. Which is greatly appreciated, and in turn, because of all the graffiti on the streetlight poles and stuff like that, and the number that are abated there. But I want to acknowledge and thank you, street lighting as well. So.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Jacinto?
Thank you, President James. Paul, great report. What a great year, year-end review. I appreciate all the metrics, all the numbers, all the quantitative work that the team, that OCB has done. Thank you for your leadership coming on after a year, just seeing what a difference, what sort of a secret, not a secret weapon, but just a very utility team that OCB is, and your staff is great. And I want to just comment on the fact that you interface with community groups, nonprofits, who are immersed in communities, and that's the field that I came from. It's incredible that we have, and you manage and work well with all these wonderful contractors in all parts of our city to really have that partnership, have that same team approach, and not just a sort of contractor-city relationship. So I just want to congratulate you and look forward to continue working with you and the office and all the team members this next year. Thank you.
Thank you. So the oral, Commissioner, go ahead.
Sure. I just want to chime in and say thank you for all the great work that you and your staff do, and the contractors out there doing God's work in our neighborhoods. So thanks again, Paul.
Thank you.
So the oral report, anything else? The oral report will be received. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Roach, have a good weekend. Have we cleared the desk, Mr. Campos?
Yes, you have.
Then we are adjourned. Thank you.